In today's video, we unbox the stretch goals for the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles board game by IDW Games. Let's take a look.
There are hobbyists among us, geniuses with the ability to play any game they want to. In 1978, a corporation known as The Interior isolated a young hobbyist named John and exploited his genius for their entertainment.
Then one day, their hobbyist ran away.
Here we have the stretch goals for the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles game by IDW Games. It is part of their Adventures Universal Game System. What that means is they are planning a whole series of games based on the system, where the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles was their first. The second is a Batman, which just recently finished Kickstarter, and then they have a Airbender or Avatar one that is set to come out later on. Now, one of the nice things about this system is while each system has their own scenarios meant to be played by the characters within that, you can transport the heroes and villains from one to another. So that means here in the Teenage Mutant Turtles game, once Batman comes out, I could say bring Batman and Robin into this and put them on my hero team. So we can maybe have two Turtles and two Batman characters go up against a scenario. So it adds a lot more for replayability, and every game they add on just makes this game that much bigger. And that is one thing that I really do like about this system. Well, let's go ahead and take a look at the stretch goals. It comes in this nice plain white box. Nothing really to see here, no other indications. Because this is not meant for retail or anything, they didn't really do anything fancy for the box. They just put it together to package to send the backers all of the extra things, all of the unlocked items that came within the game. Now, some of the few things that aren't in here that were part of the stretch goals were like the large premium health tiles and all that kind of stuff. Those were, a larger footprint. They came outside of this. But let's go ahead and take a look at this. I've already cut the little tape guy. So you can see in here, it looks like we have two plastic containers. We can pull that out. And then nothing else. And up here on the first, and we have a ton of glare, so I can't get rid of some of that lighting glare a little bit because of the protector screen on here. Good bit of our mini is right there. A little bit of tape. Let's see here. Pop that off. There we go. That's better. Now, one thing that I do like about their lids is they do have these little indentions on here, so they really don't need this tape as much. They're going to stay on just because of these little grips, but the fact that they put it here, no big deal. It's got the little Adventures Universal Game System name across the top. That is cool. But here are, looks like all of the minis that we got as part of the Kickstarter exclusives. Off to the side. And then here we have the new adventure comic. Now, this I will show towards the end, just in case you have a chance to purchase this set on the third market after the fact. If you want to stay spoiler free, I want to make sure that stays an option for you. So when we get to the actual scenarios, actual layout of because it does kind of work as a campaign to be played back to back. So to say spoiler free, I will keep it that way. We'll go ahead and look at the first couple pages to get an idea of everything. So we can see the table of contents, get an idea, again, of all of those different games. It shows the layout of the factory. Now, this is nice that they're giving us this, because sometimes, especially with these large games that have lots of figures in them, once you take out a good bit of them in order to play the scenarios, then you go to put them back and you're like, where did everything go again? So the fact that we have that laid out is nice. And then, you know, a nice larger Pigeon Pete. Everybody pay attention. That's hilarious. I believe there's even a Bat Pigeon Pete for the Batman one. And then the first campaign. So this is where we'll stop, but we'll pick up here at the end of the video in our spoiler section. But here a more close-up look at all the miniatures and the counts for them all. So it's very cool. Let's see, Metalhead, awesome. We've got a lot of nice, and the flybacks are very cool. And then we got some new tiles. Let's go ahead and take a look here. All right, so it looks like almost a destroyed dojo. Something there. Very cool. And then an outside foresty type area, because it's like a tree because there's multiple levels of height. And then it's a barn. So is that maybe a barn then? So that, yeah, I guess that's supposed to be a barn then. And that is another thing that I really like that they've done with this one, is that they've left the relative footprint of these fairly small. With most games, you're usually only ever using one or two of these tiles at a time. So your footprint on the table is relatively small. I really do like that. I think one or two of them maybe have like a 3 or 4 tile, you know, large, you know, scale one, but for the most part, this is what you're going to be playing on. Like say 90% of your games will be, you know, single or double size like this. I really like that. When games kind of put that into consideration, the footprint of, you know, because not everybody has this gigantic game table that they can play on. And then some new boards. This is cool. Oh, I like this. Here we go. I know what this is. This is, I'm surprised they give so many. These are gaming boards for you to keep your character's hero die in here, or your here's character sheet. Then the cards that they maybe have that you're getting into, the 3 dice that you've rolled, and then your tokens for the 2 that you're getting from your other players. So that's cool that they have that. And let's see how many of those. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Wow, that is insane. They've given us 8 of these. I can't think of any that's going to go 8 players large in a game. Maybe so that way you have, I don't know. That's insane that they're giving us 8 of those. Wow. And then here we have all of our new hero and villain. Oh, it looks like that one. That's a little disappointing. That one just got bent up somehow in manufacturing. Take a look at that. Some extra baggies to store everything in. Then the new dice for the new heroes that we got. So it looks like there's going to be 3 heroes in here. Take a look at those when we look at their sheets. And then of course all of the cards for these. Now the hero ones, I will break these open, pull out the heroes, because I'll show you those, but then I will save all the villain ones and all the villain cards for the spoiler section. Again, just in case you don't want to know what's coming, I'll keep that in the spoiler section. Very cool. Let's go ahead and look at these guys. So there's going to be 3. Looks like 1, 2. Ooh, cool. Raph. There's our Pigeon Pete. So Pigeon there, so it's Pigeon Pete. Must be that one. And then the Raph, because he must use his Raph dice. And then here's all our villains. So it looks like here are our 3 new heroes. And here are all of the villain tiles. So we will save the rest of these for the spoiler section as well, just in case. You want to try to stay as spoiler free as possible. But as far as our heroes go, there, actually, that makes it kind of easy. So here are those dice. And when we look at the hero boards, you'll be able to, whoa, when we look at the hero boards, you'll be able to see, and it shows all the sides. But very cool. Now we will get into the hero cards for all of the for the 3 new guys that we just got. Now every card for that cooperative mode has a turn initiative card. So that's when you're playing, you know whose turn, who goes up next. They all have the same common back. So here we will start with him. And then his backs look like this for his action cards that you can pick. And then of course his card itself lets us know how many of those out of this group, how many we get to pick from. So let's go ahead and look at his. And then we have and then Pigeon Pete. And then we have Loner Raph's turn card. And then it also came with one more for Leo. So there's also an additional Leo card to upgrade and add to his deck. Then additionally we have some new ally cards that you will get. Here we have the miniatures for the game. Let's go ahead and take a look, and it looks like we have where we can see, you know, all of the duplicates. So here's one set, another, yep, and they all look the same, another set, and then a few carryovers over here, and then a few more over here. So primarily we're going to be looking in this area and then just the 3 individuals. Let's start with the foot soldiers. He looks very cool, kind of like his little pose, kind of, you know, going back a little bit, but still kind of at a defense. And as far as mold lines and gaps or anything, I'm not really seeing a ton on this guy. Here we have a little bit of gap on his arm. Again, that should be easily fixed. Very nice, I like that. And I also like how these are just fitting in here, they're not locking in. So if you paint these guys up, you don't have to worry about damaging your paint job. And then our flying mousers. they look very cool. Nice detail. And then our flymen. There we can see a little bit of a mold line right there. Or not mold line, but a little bit of gap fill that we're going to need to do. Very cool. And then, like I said, all of the rest. Now here, this looks like the same character, but two different poses. I can't remember if that was, you know, an extra special bit of the stretch goal or what. And then here's another one of him. And then this guy, I swear, I remember him being in with the previous. So I don't know if maybe he's an additional figure for him or what's going on there. I don't know. I don't remember. Let's start here. And again, usually with the arms, this is usually where we're getting our gap fills that we're going to need to do. And the alternate sculpt for them. There we go. Or maybe that's different. I don't remember that tail. Yeah, no tail. Metal head. And the Rat King. I can pull him out. Come on. There we go. All his little rats on his base. That's so cool. I like his hair and the detail there. Now there's a little bit of material we'll have to remove from his fingers and his hands here. I like his facial designs though. He's very cool. And then our Pigeon Pete. And then here, it looks like we got a couple of these. Oh, now he is cool. Now let's see, how does that... Okay, his tail. I was worried that his tail, because it looks like it drops a little below the base. But that looks good. And some more of those guys for here. And then I believe that's the Baxter as the fly. Very cool. And good bit of gap right there on his arms and torso. Oh yeah. Now I actually prefer Vallejo plastic putty for filling those myself, rather than green stuff, because green stuff, as it dries, it can settle. With plastic putty, you do not see that. And then here's our cat burglar. For a cat burglar, he must not be very good, because he is in some ratty clothes. And then this monster of whatever this thing is. Holy cow. This looks like fast food coming out of his back and a little knife. A bicycle wheel. Like Garbage Man or something. What the heck's going on here? That's great. I believe that is all of them. Very cool. Definitely liking all of the extra minis that have been added here within all the stretch goals. All the additions. Like I said, I believe he was actually in the base. I think. Because I want to remember that pose. So I'm thinking we're just getting an extra one. But, you know, lots of playable characters who could definitely fill up, you know, a scenario with villains. Very cool. Well, that is everything in our spoiler-free unboxing for the stretch goals for the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles board game by IDW Games. Once again, this game system in general is something that I've really fallen in love with, especially where as they add additional content, it just makes all the previous games that much more playable, which also is one of those double-edged swords, because I am not hugely into the Avatar and the Airbender and all that. But I'm really going to have to consider getting it just to port those heroes over to add some more complexity and diversity, and those villains over into this game, one that I really do love, a IP that I really do love. Well, if you don't want to see any stretch goals, now's a good place to stop. But the full unboxing, the full look at the rest of the campaign book, the action book, and all of the rest of the cards, it's coming up next. Now for the villain cards, a lot of these come in two different forms, whether you're playing co-op or competitive. And basically what that means is if you have a fifth player playing as the villain, or if you're letting the AI take part in it. Now for here, they have very similar backs, but the co-op, the competitive has this kind of smaller squared, where the competitive has this very more defined kind of square, I guess. So you can see the difference. So here we have the foot assassin, and then there we have them. And then up next, they have these backs. And then next, have these. And then one additional there. And then here, we only have it in that. And the same, these, again, only in cooperative. And here we have all of the turn initiative cards for our villains. They all have the same common back. And there we go. And if you remember, he was actually a hero as well, so he must start off as a villain, and you must earn him prior through the campaign. So that is very cool. And something else that I find very interesting is with this guy, he has these stats up at the top of his card. Something I haven't seen on any of the other turn initiative cards. So it'll be interesting to see what that mechanic is. And then the Rat King, looking forward to seeing what his missions are. Up next we have the villain cards, and they all have this same common back. So that way when you shuffle them all together, you don't know, which is which. So let's go ahead and look through these. Now with these, you can always tell which character you're talking about by the name right here. Additionally, you will see that there are different levels of cards. So when you play a scenario, it will tell you, like say for Baxter, get all of his green or all of his red or blue or yellow, so forth and so on. And then you'll put those together to make the villain deck. So now here we have the Fly. Same. And then Mousers, and again, so we can see as we're kind of going through the different colors, more Mousers. So here we're adding to, because the Mousers was already in one of the base games, so we've added an extra red, and then we've added some blue, or that may have even been an alternative, I don't know. Some more Mousers. This is cool. We're getting into, we saw those earlier, the last set of reds was for him as well. We're getting into that one that also had the hero card for. So that's cool. And then some new regroups. And here we have the action comic, which we will flip through and take a look at all of the different scenarios and setups. So let's get to where we stopped. Looks like one page too far. All right, here we go. And again, I love how, they add in, comics every once in a while. Really helps keep that action comic vibe going. And here we're using tiles from the game. So, I mean, it is stretch goal, so it is assuming you have the base. But as we can see as we're going through here, so here's one of the largest ones. It actually is using 4. But that's very rarely that we're seeing that. Most of these are going 2 tiles large. Let's see here, just 2. There we go. These new books are sometimes harder to flip through and separate the pages. Oh, there we go. And then the thank you and the Pigeon Pete. Very cool. Well, that is my full unboxing for the stretch goals of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles game by IDW Games, part of their Adventures Universal Game System. I hope this unboxing hasn't teased you too much, being that this is a Kickstarter stretch goals. It will be one of the harder things to find, but if you do see it available, I hope this unboxing has helped you to determine if you are going to pay that expense to try to get it. Well, until next time, guys, I'll see you later.